so mad. I'm so mad. This looks fucking rad. I'm gonna fucking lose my mind. Now listen, we have to talk about something. And I don't think it's gonna shock any of you that we have to talk about the Avatar: The Last Airbender trailer. We have to talk about the live-action Netflix adaptation of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I want to start off first by saying Michael and Brian, the creators of ATLA, left this project in 2018, I believe. To quote this article, Variety, creators Brian and Michael spent 2 years developing a live-action adaptation animation of the animation for Netflix before they shocked fans by announcing their exit from the project due to creative differences. When Brian and I signed on to the project in 2018, we were hired as executive producers and showrunners. In a joint announcement for the series, Netflix said that it was committed to honoring our vision for the retelling and supporting us on creating the series, and expressed how excited they were for an opportunity to be at the helm. Unfortunately, things did not go as we hoped. Michael called exiting the project, quote, the hardest professional decision I've ever had to make, adding, quote, Netflix live-action adaptation of Avatar has the potential to be good. It might turn out to be a show many of you end up enjoying. But what I can be certain about is that whatever vision ends up on screen, it will not be what Brian and I had envisioned or intended to make. These are the creators of ATLA. The creators of Avatar: The Last Airbender say, whatever Netflix does with this, fine. But it is not what we wanted to make. And how are we fucking done taking their vision away from them? Have we not learned literally anything? They left the show. Now, this was before there was a trailer. This was before production. This was even before casting. So they left forever ago. And here we are in 2024 with a release date of February 22nd and a trailer. Now, I have no fucking clue how Michael and Brian feel about the trailer. I know how I feel about the trailer, at least on my initial thoughts, as somebody who has very strong opinions about this franchise. But unfortunately, my strongest opinion is do something else. It's not even like somebody can do this right. It's not like, oh, you know, if we could just nail it, or if you just let me do it. That's not my actual opinion on this. My opinion on this shit, stop it. Get some help. Do anything else. There are so many amazing and creative artists telling amazing and creative stories. Beat this dead horse no longer. Michael and Brian, the creators of ATLA, did not sit quietly while in the huge gap between the season 3 of Avatar: The Last Airbender and Korra. They created comic books and other books, actually. Specifically, I'm going to cite the comic books because it was their way of continuing the story. So if you want to know like what happened to Zuko's mom, there's a comic book about that. If you want to know how the Earth Kingdom actually, this is one of my favorite things about the comic books, is if you think about the world of Avatar, you have 100 years of war and 100 years of Fire Nation citizens living in the Earth Kingdom. So that's 100 years. That's like your grandma who lived and died in the Earth Kingdom as a Fire Nation citizen. So how do you deal with a world that's been ravaged by war, and you have citizens who have been living in the Earth Kingdom this whole time and have never even seen the Fire Nation? They find themselves asking this question of, are we Fire Nation citizens? Do we need to go home? Are we Earth Kingdom citizens? Do we need to convert? And it becomes this huge problem where Zuko, the new Fire Lord of the Fire Nation, and the Earth King, dude with the bear, comes back, end up fighting about it a lot. They spend a ton of time fighting about like who these citizens should be, and Aang has to get involved, and it's really stressful. There's a whole comic book about it, which is really good. It shows Aang trying to be an avatar in a world that isn't just gonna end in the summer. It shows him growing as like a person in the world and trying to live his life. It shows a lot of trauma, like, that's ravaged these characters and this land from 100 years of war. It's very good. There's also one called North and South. There's one called The Rift. The Rift is about, oh man, I forgot what The Rift is about, but there's one that's about, like, Toph and how she founds the metal bending school, which leads to all of the stuff that we have about metal bending in Korra. She also becomes a cop in Korra, which isn't great, but she's not a cop in the comic book. She just starts a school about metal bending. And it's really interesting. You have the comics, you have shit, the Kyoshi chapter books. I don't know if they're good, but I have them. I'm going to read them. My point is that the creators didn't just sit by and do nothing. They created more of the world in a medium that they thought made sense. Fast forward, we get Korra, the drama with Korra. I'm not going to get into it again. I've already talked about this at length, about how I feel about Legend of Korra. And for better or for worse, I know that a lot of people like it. It's fine. Like what you like. I have a lot of beef with that show. Doesn't matter. Let's fast forward past Korra. So now we get, okay, Netflix is going to make a live action Avatar: The Last Airbender. I'm like, do whatever you want. That's fucking stupid. Don't do that, but whatever. Right? That was my reaction. I think I'm ready to watch. Okay. Couple of things. First of all, this looks fucking rad. This looks fucking rad. It got me excited. I feel it in my belly. I'm like, oh my God, these are the people that I love. I can't wait to do this. I can't wait to see this. I can't wait to love these people again, love these characters again. I have nitpicks. And like, I was gut checking myself by like starting this stream with like, here's all the fucking shit that pisses me off about the live action adaptation that Netflix is doing. I wanted to know that like, am I just like, am I just excited? Like, I don't know. Like, I needed to know that even knowing what I know about the show, I still felt the same way. Because, like, my gut reaction to this was, like, this is my gut reaction. That's how I felt. So, I have some nitpicks, and I do want to get into them. But I also have some really, really good things to say. Like, for instance, the that is iconic at ATLA. Iconic. You know how like it's the same feeling that when you watch an anime or even like you're binging a Netflix show and the music for the captions plays for a second before it's like next episode starting soon. That moment that makes you just ingrain that song in your head. That same thing used to happen to me for fucking Full Metal Alchemist. And you'd be like, I don't actually know what the words are, but you get what I'm talking about. Like, it's ingrained in my fucking brain. It's like, I don't care how bad it is. I don't care. You got me. You hooked me. That is, and that's all you need for fan service. Do you know what I mean? What worries me is about an excess of fan service, because if they do that too much, it's just gonna be like what is the content that you're trying to recreate? Because if it's a 1-for-1 shot of the animation, don't make it. It's a waste of time. Don't fucking do it. We already have the animation. We could just watch that. What would be the point? Like, it has to be an adaptation. So like, while balancing fan service with telling a really good story, I do think is important, but that's all you need. These like subtle things that just appeal to our sense of nostalgia that will make us forget any qualms that we have. There's like this scene in Into the Spider-Verse where they have this moment where they're like, oh, and I ended up in not my New York or whatever, but everybody else was sent at the same time except for Gwen Stacy. She was not only sent to a different universe, she was sent back in time. And like, it doesn't really work. It's like a kind of a weird plot hole that if you look too closely at it, it doesn't super make sense. But it's fine because that movie fucking slaps. Like, you don't care. You don't give a shit about any plot holes or weird nitpicks when something is telling a really good story. It doesn't take you out of the narrative. It doesn't break the fourth wall when you're just so invested. So like, fan service should be about it making a fan invest in the story you're telling, not be a pandering to the audience. mic fucking drop, right? Like, that is really important to me. So the cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha and, like, saving it for the end. And I count your fucking lucky stars that Hulu has not released the ACOTAR show yet. I will be going absolutely feral on and being so intensely. Like, I just know they're gonna fuck it up. But we'll talk about that eventually. So I mean, I saw things that were almost all of season 1, maybe even a little bit of book 2. So, you know, we've got, like, here's the beginning. This is Zhao's ship. You can tell by the gold thingy. And so Zhao, it looks like Zhao is arriving. These are ICCs. So Zhao is the one who's arriving at the Northern Water Tribe, not Zuko? Question mark. But either that or this is the Northern Water Tribe and not the Southern Water Tribe. So, you know what I mean? Like, there's definitely some things that they change, and I think that could be for the better. This is definitely the Heibai episode, one of the best episodes in the beginning, where you can see the ravaged forest. Heibai is also featured in this trailer, but not until way later. So that's in the season 1. We've got the what looks like an Earth Kingdom town, but I'm not sure. We do have Aang floating off of the ground near the end, which happens in the Earth Kingdom town, where they try to convince him to force himself into the Avatar state. So, like, you know, there's that episode, right? We've got a lot of fighting here, which looks really good. This is one of the ones that I'm really confused about. This is not a character that I recognize. Unless it's Roku, I'm confused. And if it is Roku, that's a very tangible Roku. He ain't a ghost right here. Like, and I find that really interesting because who is he fighting? If he's fighting in the Fire Temple, look at all these Fire Nation soldiers who are on the ground back here. If he's fighting in the Fire Temple, that's that episode. Great. If it's not, is this a flashback? You think it's Sozin? Then who is he fighting? If that's Sozin, who is he? Oh. We've got an article. Oh, look at that. Oh, we should have just done this. Hold on. Hold the fuck on. Here we're seeing Fire Lord Sozin, the person who actually launched the campaign and set the world on course that we find it in. Sure, Sozin launched the war. But he didn't launch the war... Ugh. This was 100 years ago. Anyway, this scene was never seen in the original series, but for us, in order to convey the stakes and exactly what this war is all about, we feel like we needed to see that. So we get to see Sozin here attacking Monk Gyatso. And it's a very important moment in the story. It kicks off the entire journey. And it was important that we started off our whole show with that. Oh my fucking God. You're telling me that the only way to get Aang and fucking vested was you made Sozin hurt Gyatso? The reason Ozai is so scary is because he is not personified. He is this ethereal thing. He is this force of nature. He is this impact, this war, this genocide. He is this thing. It's not right there. It's this impending doom. And what makes his presence so impactful and Aang's impactful choice not to kill him so real is that now he's a dad. We're at book 3 and he's a dude. He isn't some Sauron. He isn't a force of nature. He's a guy with a voice. Fucking Luke Skywalker voice. Like, he's a bad, confused dad. He's worth saving. Take that away. What do you got? And this is my point, because everybody who has tried to adapt this show has stripped what makes it impactful. You didn't find Avatar: The Last Airbender impactful because it was telling this great, big story right from the get. If I wanted to do that, I wouldn't have binged a cartoon. Avatar sneaks up on you. Avatar lures you in with a sense of being a child, being innocent and having fun, and then takes that all away from you, showing the real world and hoping that you will rise to the challenge. It sneaks up on you. Its themes are underlying, hidden. Its themes are left for you to decide and interpret. Don't fucking explain it to me at the get-go. If you really wanted me to have an opinion, you should show me, not tell me. Monk Gyatso talking. I did not know that was the narration was being done by Gyatso. That's very interesting. You should be able to recognize his authoritative, warm, and scholarly. Nope, I don't. He sounds like a fucking...
It needs you, Aang.
He sounds serious as hell. Gyatso was like a goofy guy. Yeah. Like, his voice wasn't authoritative. Like...
This video was made in channel ending. Anointed as an airbender.
God, give me a fucking quote. Is this... Who edited this?
Now that this... Why aren't Monk Gyatso and Monk Tashi here yet?
Okay, I didn't expect me trying to find his voice to go this way. I really didn't. I don't know why we've got a weird...
Usually they never come late. Coming on their ships, led by Fire Lord Sozin. Monk Tashi, please take place. No time for rest. What is their reason to visit us? We haven't made any appointment.
I mean, okay, I guess it is. I guess Sozin does say in the flashback that, which is one of my favorite episodes, right, where Zuko's reading the scroll and it's the flashback about Roku and Sozin. He does say, like, so I wiped out the air temples, or and I do. So technically, you could say that Sozin was the one who arrived on the shores of the air temples, but it's a lot of temples for you to be in at once. I don't know. I don't love seeing Sozin fight Gyatso. I don't like it.
Destroy our sacred temple within its monks. We are not applicable for an attack. We are peaceful.
Applicable.
Monks. Yes, I know. So
I don't know what this is, but it's fucking hilarious. I hope I never find it again. Alright, I can't find his voice, but his voice is goofier. Like, I really just don't think... It is giving Newgrounds. Especially, like, the gruff under the voiceover is very Newgrounds. The Southern Air Temple. This isn't the Earth King. Or Earth Kingdom. Wow. This attack on the Southern Air Temple by Firebenders, and it's really the event that kicks off the whole epic journey. So, this is... I don't know if it's a bad choice or a good choice. I don't know. I know that it's not the choice that the animated show made. In the animated show, we showed the ravages of war later. You talk to the daughters of their dead mothers. You talk to the sons who are scared. You talk about the war that's happening. But we don't actually go to war. Consider the episode in the Earth Kingdom with Zuko alone. And he visits that family whose son is off fighting in the war. And we have those, like, rogue soldiers being shit bullies in town. And they talk about, like, what it means for him to be on the front, but they don't show the war because it's a kid's show. And we're changing the tone if we show an open battlefield, but we do show the ravages of the war and the impacts it has on the universe. So in here, it looks like they've made the choice to show the front lines instead, which I don't know how I feel about that, because it's not necessarily a bad choice, but it does change the tone dramatically. Whereas, like, the tone of the animated show is like, I'm a kid's show. I can show these things without, showing blood and gore. Like, how do I show death, devastation, and the impact of war without actually showing a war? And the live action show has said, we want to see that now. Like, and I don't know what that choice is going to impact for the show, but it definitely is going to. I mean, look at this fucking screenshot. The entire trailer has, like, a fog on it. Like, it has this, like, dark, smoky. It's got, like, the Lagos filter on Instagram over it. Like, and I'm not sure why. I mean, but it definitely is going to change the tone. But, there are shows who have done that where that didn't work. You have fucking Twilight. Looks like, it was shot through, like, a sepia filter. Like, it's just, like, it doesn't always work. So this is a huge tonal change, and I hope it works. If you were living in the Northern Water Tribe, and like, I don't know if it's budget, but like, if you're living in the Northern Water Tribe, you are in intense cold, your sleeves aren't going to be baggy. Your fucking chest is not going to be polyester. That looks like, bruh, that looks like that foam shit that cosplayers use to make the like embroidery thing on the front. And that is obviously a plastic button and not a bone. Like, I don't buy it. Her beads look plastic. Like, I don't know what you want from me here. Like, it doesn't look good. I'm sorry. Like, you can't go from like, I'm the live action show, and I've completely changed the tone of the show. But also it still looks exactly like it does animated. You can't have both things. I feel the same way about, I actually like, see, this looks really good. I can't believe we're showing him this early. This is Ozai. This actor is amazing. I hope he nails it. It looks like what they're going to do is not show Ozai a lot, but they're going to show Zuko's flashback, which does happen in season 1, where they flash back to his Agni Kai. So hopefully we won't have a ton of Ozai content, but even in those flashbacks in the original series, we never showed his face. It was like shrouded in darkness. It was like, he was still this like idea of a person. So I hope that they really do portray that. I really do enjoy the costumes here. They don't look cheesy, and that would have been like, I don't understand how the Southern Water Tribe looks cheesy, but the Fire Nation, the fucking cuntiest, pointiest outfits in the world look legit. I don't know how you pulled that off. It seems like it should probably be flipped a little bit. I mean, he looks royal. I love the bracers. Maybe it's the armor, because this is giving, like, the fact that we're super into high fantasy as a generation right now is definitely helping this look good, because like, I don't care that this dude is wearing like weird robes. Like, it just, I'm like, cool, like, you look great. You know, and like the armor, the shoulder pad, like, I dig it. I'm honestly a fan. I think that probably has been from like high fantasy paving the way for that. Like, you couldn't have Game of Thrones crawled so this shot could run, you know. Oh man, the quote here is, he looks like a living anime character, so this is just incredible to see transformation on screen. Yeah, this actor is insane. He is 100% a great pick for Ozai. I'm a big fan. I mean, we won't see him much until later. This scene, actually, love. I know that we only saw this for like a millisecond. I love these fucking ostrich bird things. I don't even remember what animals these are. Because you know how everything in ATLA is a combo of two animals. It's ostrich, like, I don't know, ostrich horse, like, I have no idea, but they look exactly like they do in the show, and that is such a weird thing to nail. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so good. Like, they look awesome, and I love that we actually have an actor riding on one. Like, that dude, there's where the budget on the costumes went right here. Speaking of costumes, the Earth Kingdom looks great too. I don't know if that's just this continuation of like fantasy paving the way for like armor, but they look great. I guess I only really have beef with Katara and Sokka's outfits, because this looks amazing. And like, there isn't the smoke on this one. Maybe the flashbacks, no, because we had the Heibai scene had that like weird filter. This looks very rich and organic. Like I want to eat this up. It looks like chocolate. It looks like fucking, I don't know why, but it's maybe it's just the dopamine that it gives me. Like, this is very, I love this. I love the little wheel under the wagon. I love the practicality of that. Like, if it was being pulled by a bipedal like creature, it would have to look more like those like those like taxis that you like hold and the guy like runs. Like it would have to have that, right? Like, I really like the attention to detail on this world building for sure. And I think even the armor on the animals looks really good. I like their little fucking weird ass hats. I don't think they look goofy. I'm a big fan. And the color in this is it's so rich and wonderful. I really like it. Oh, ostrich horses. I was right. Okay. So yeah, it says it's a hybrid creature, which, for those of you not aware or fan of the original series, I mean, I do get that they're going to pander to, or not pander, but they're going to have to explain a lot of this to regular audiences, and that's fine. Yeah, This is a hybrid between ostrich and horse. Practically on set, there were stunt drivers underneath these actors who were riding on top of them. Digitally, we created the creature in its entirety. Pretty cool. This is the Southern Air Temple 100 years after the Fire Nation attack. So this is the juxtaposition of the first scene. So like we're actually going to get that scene, whereas in the animated show, we just walk up on here. I like it. The colors are good. It's yummy. I like all the stone. I don't know what's going on in the background, but this background here looks very similar to where the final battle happens. And I don't remember that. Maybe that was the Southern Air Temple, but I didn't think it was. I thought it was somewhere else. But maybe the story does end where it started. That wouldn't shock me. But like I really like the colors. I think it's really great. It's very rich. Still a little smoky. something with the smoke. Maybe they just did this for the trailer, but I don't know how I feel about that. Or maybe that's like something to help the visual effects because this is a lot of green screen. I hope that they took the time to set dress. Like, even if the background doesn't look as good as the set dressing, I think that will go a long way. Consider that like the Lego movie had like plastic texture, not given digitally to the Legos. They were actual Lego models. So like anytime that you could replace the digital animation with like texture from the real Lego piece, they did. And I think that went a really long way. What in the Halloween costume is this guy wearing? What's he wearing? Please. I mean, you know what I mean, Tobio? You know what I mean? Sorry, he was doing a little twist. I had to show y'all. I guess the only alternative would have been to embroider all of this. And that was probably just too expensive. I hate his necklace. I think his necklace looks really cheesy. Is that supposed to be bone? Is it rock? What is it? Like, I don't think that Sokka's necklace was iconic enough for you to shoehorn it in here with plastic. It just looks fake. The first time they're traveling outside of their home of Wolf Cove. What the fuck is Wolf Cove? And they're coming into this whole new world with all of these problems they didn't realize exist. Their home was literally attacked by the Fire Nation when they were babies. Sure, but they don't realize the problems exist, whatever the fuck you say. The juxtaposition of what Katara's POV is and what Sokko's POV is that them clashing on, like, do we go forward? Do we go back? It's a really interesting dynamic that plays early in the season, then later in the season, but it's really important of who they are as brother and sister and their journey over the course of the season and coming together to support Aang. Yeah, bullshit. Where did you find that? I've never heard anyone call it Wolf Cove or Capital City. They just call it the Southern Water Tribe, and it's like a tiny fucking hut and like tents. Like, there's no city. Damn, I've never seen Wolf Cove. But hey, you know what? Why is it so big? Huh? Is this what it looks like after? Yeah, that's the one I know. Huh? It's it's later. This is what the Southern Water Tribe looks like after the war. Bro, why are we referencing Wolf Cove now? And whatever. And I'm frustrated by some of these descriptions. It's giving producer doesn't know what he's talking about, to be honest. Because they are the perfect people to go on this journey. Katara is passionate, and she has been dying to fucking do something about the Fire Nation. She knows, she knows that a downvote. She knows that, she's been waiting for this opportunity, and Sokka has too. He's always wanted to prove his dad that he's a good warrior. He wants to fuck up some Fire Nation kids, and he is in fully support of her. He, only doesn't trust Aang out of, I'm trying to protect my people. But the second they get back from the second Aang leaves and gets captured, Sokka goes, are you going to chat all day or are you coming with me? There's no fucking back and forth. They're not arguing. No one has to convince anybody else. Sokka is a good brother who supports and cares about his people. I'm sorry, but he didn't hesitate. That's not a dynamic. The dynamic between Sokka and Katara was never that they were at odds. That's not good character development. And trust me, this show is literally the Bible on good character development. So if you're changing something, maybe don't. Like, it's fucking, this is the same problem that I have with Korra. This is a little bit of a tangent, but like Legend of Korra, we have like this flashback where they have to do this like contextual flashback that doesn't fit right in the history of the world in order to make their story make sense. Like, in order to make the episode make sense, they had to retcon a show with the best world building and history documented ever. Like, if you have to retcon something that is famous for being consistent, maybe change your story. Like, maybe just don't do that. Like, that is like one of my biggest pet peeves. This is Kyoshi Island, which is cool. I love seeing the giant statue of Kyoshi. Our cute little stunt where he runs into the thing. Love it. I even like the costumes. I don't think that they look weird. Yummy, yummy colors. Very good. 10 out of 10. Iroh. Love it. I want to rub his belly. Is that weird? I love it. I love the stylized mustache. I love the impression of armor in his robes, but not. Like, I love that it's like felted. So it looks like it's giving general, retired general. I love it. I love the cloth but structured pads on the shoulders. I love that so much. This story is as much about a journey, about Zuko's journey as anyone's. Okay. In general, we actually spend a lot more time with the Fire Nation and the Fire Nation characters in the first season than we did in the original animated series. That was a very conscious choice. It felt like it was important that we needed to balance out the story that way. So you end up seeing a lot more of Fire Lord Ozai, Princess Azula that you did in the first animated season of the animated series. I'm cool with that. I'm still a little weird about the Sozin Gyatso thing, but I'm cool with this. I want to hang out with Zuko. Zuko's obsession wall is so cute. I love his obsession wall. I love it. I love that he's got a crumpled Yang Chen. That's so fun. Because like somebody was looking for Yang Chen before it was Aang, right? That was the last known airbender, right? Like, that's so cool. I love the map. I love this weird like, look at the circles with the triangulation. That shit, dude, it's giving Pepe Sylvia, but like also like the scratchy, sketchy when Aang draws stuff in the animated show, which I really like. And like the wanted posters from the animated show. You know what I'm talking about? Stylistically, 10 out of 10. I wish the scar was bigger. I still do. I see what they did. I still wish the scar, like, I wish the eyebrow was gone. What if the eyebrow was like red or something? Like, I just think we learned a lot about how not to do a scar. Like, let's look at the Zuko M. Night. Let's see a Zuko here. See, it's funny. I think it's really funny that I actually prefer some of the details in this one to, let's like zoom in, because I want to talk about like what fire does to skin that I think is really important. Let's just have the image here, please. It's probably gonna be pretty shit quality. I like that the hair isn't there. I like the wrinkles to the skin. If you look at an actual like just a picture of Zuko, like we have these like lines that indicate, you know, like damage to the skin and like the skin's resiliency and bounceability after the injury. Like, it's a scar, it's scar tissue. You know what I mean? Like, I think there should be, oh God, look how cool that is. They gave this, that's so good. They fucking put lighting in here, and the scar also has like depth based off of the lighting. That is, God, the show's so good. The show's so good. But like, yeah, so I get that we try, like the inner part is like worse than the outer. Like, that's great. So it's like, I actually like the little like indent. I like the prosthetic of this. Whereas like, it's just a mark here. It's giving shitty budget again. It's not enough for me. I'm going to let it pass because that's super nitpicky, because I think this character looks great. Like, I love the ponytail. Thank you for going for it. I love the I don't know, the look in his fucking eyes is amazing. I like that he's young. I'm trying to think in like the technical term, like if you were on set and you were having to put this prosthetic on every day, like that's expensive and difficult to act in. So like, if it was something they gave up in order to like make other choices, I'll be good with it. You know, like there are things that you let slide based off of like, this is a good adaptation anyway. So like we'll see, because it's a nitpick. I do wish the scar was bigger and more damaged. I really wish there was more skin wrinkles. I think that while M. Night Shyamalan's scar wasn't enough, I think that but it had texture, and I think the texture is missing here. Ooh! Okay. Still weirded out. It looks like a bruise. Still weirded out by the smoke. Maybe it's just a Fire Nation thing, but like there's just this filter on this. It looks like it's always like right before sundown, and like it's always golden hour in the show. Like there's no just like day. I actually watched a video recently that was like it's harder to do special effects in like full bright daylight. So like there's maybe some choices to that. Is that this is a lot of special effects. So like it's a little bit darker. But I think this looks great. I love the texture over of heat over Iroh. Feels like real fire. I did really like the animations. Like if we go back and we look at some actual firebending here, like from this scene, like I think that looks great. There's a little bit of flourish that I could have done without. But this, I mean, that looks great. That looks really fun. His scar looks weird here. Oh, love. One of my nitpicks about firebending, though, is like it was a lot like I don't want him to look too water tribe-y and waterbending, because remember firebending was all very much like taekwondo, you know, like with this like, you know, but we'll see. It'll be really weird if they don't nail the choreographing in this, because it's literally based off of real martial arts, so there's plenty of resources for you to choreograph fight scenes. So we'll see. I mean, yes, pairing that with special effects could be difficult, but whatever. Oh yeah, they actually bring it up. So the comments here is like from the producers. We have to look at Iroh's firebending. We really tried to differentiate the bending as much as we could while making it feel like a unified event. Okay, I'll give it to you. Can I help you, Tobio? Don't knock over Miles Morales. Miles Morales wants to sit there. You're knocking him over. He's knocking him over. Why do you want him so bad, you weirdo? Because it's true, Iroh did learn a lot from the Water Tribe, and he does have a different style of bending. He also learned from the dragons, which would technically change some of the way that he bends. But this is like the only time we see firebending, so it was like I was like, huh, like a little weird. But so if it's different, that's fair. I'm cool with that, actually. Woo! No, it looks so good. I love his belt. I love his bracers. I even like his fucking girly ass. No, I'm just kidding. I like the armbands. I love the goatee. The goatee doesn't look fucking stupid, which I think is just absolutely a fucking should be celebrated. That is so hard to do. I love the crown. One of the things about the Fire Nation crown, which I think is really interesting, is that like it's not directly straight up and down. You probably could have, but it is very much on the back of the head, you know? So like sometimes there is like scenes where Zuko's looking up and you like don't see it anymore. And that's an interesting choice. And I like that I can still see it, but it's not like, you know, I don't know. I like that. I would caution about trying to jam pack season 1 full of shit. Like if you're making a show that everybody knows already, you don't need to jam-pack stuff in here for us to understand. We will get it through context, through exposition, through being a part of the story longer. Like, you don't have to over-explain the world. You don't have to justify why you're making this. I really don't think that that's true. And this might be just, like, studio intervention or production intervention, but, you know, somebody who's making an adaptation or, you know, something that's based off of something else, they say, we don't want just the fans to watch it, we want to make it so that, like, everybody could watch it. And while that's fair, I still don't think that warrants shoehorning in your, like, justification. Like, Bessie, you got the budget, just make the show. You don't have to justify your existence here. In fact, I think it brings you down. So I don't want you to shoehorn and force things just because you think it's lacking exposition. We'll get it, you know? Like, it's okay. I think this is interesting because if this is the Agni Kai, then this is that little, you know, you remember that scene with Zhao fighting Zuko? And he does the clap. It's a really iconic scene. He does the clap and the fire goes around him. It's really cool. He's doing that here. So in the Agni Kai in the animated show, he doesn't attack. I mean, this is defense, but he refuses to fight, which is why he gets burned. So if you're, why is Appa like almost like gray? You could have given us more white fur. Feels weird. His nose looks good though. There's a lot of texture. It's giving Jurassic Park. Momo looks good. Momo looks cute. His eyes are fucking huge, but they don't look fake. His nose is tiny. I wanna boop it. I love his hair. Shit, Momo's white. His white fur looks great. Why is Appa like gray? I think it's adorable. I also appreciate the facial expression here because like when you're like looking up, it doesn't have to be that dramatic. I think that this actor is really trying to encapsulate that like anime, you know, over exaggerated facial expressions, which I think is important for Sokka. It's also gonna be a little weird though, because even the two like Sokka jokes that we had, like they were weirdly delivered. Like, can we go back to that? Like, why is it missing a whole syllable when he says "Savior of the world"? You know what I'm talking about?
Right. There goes the savior of the world.
That's really stiff, and it almost like, did he like stumble over his words? I don't know.
Savior of the world.
Like, open your mouth fully, you know?
Right. There goes the savior of the world.
I don't know. It just feels weird. But I think this actor was a good choice. I just like it's a weird. Is it an accent? Because like I think that like even with One Piece, you have an actor who has a very thick accent, and he doesn't ever like stumble over his words though. I don't know. Like. She's on screen for fucking milliseconds. The hottest bitch in the place. The cuntiest. She is serving. She is voguing. Like, she is fucking. This is. Oh my god. What? Look at this costume. Look how good she looks. Oh my god. The double belt? Bitch. The fucking. Like, flap? Oh my god. The leather trim? Bitch. Bitch. I want to see Nala. Oh, Hey Bye. I haven't even talked about Hey Bye yet. Nala looks really good too. That was a weird scene. It's a weird character to turn into real life. Here we go. Let's just watch her fucking intro one more second because best. Like what? This is alien as fuck, and they nailed it. I think that looks really good. That's amazing. That's so good, actually. Wow. Wait, shut the fuck up. That looks so good. You know what it kind of looks like? It kind of looks like a face of another creature, which I think is really interesting. Because, like, if you think, like, God, that world building, though. Because, like, if you think about this thing hunting or, like sniffing through a bush, it could potentially be, like, you know, trying not to show how big it is. Like, it's trying to say that that's where my eyes are. Like, evolutionarily. Does that make sense? It might have been a weird pattern to follow, but, like, that's really rich in, like, this fits into the world for me. Is, like, making that look that good. It looks so good. Look at the big claw. Look at that thumb claw that, like, doesn't quite touch the ground. Bitch. Who was in charge of fucking animals in this show, man? I want to high five your ass. She's on screen for a millisecond, my dudes. Hey Bye looks so scary. You telling me that that's a panda? Terrifying. Look at the teeth. Please look at those teeth. Just for 1 second. Just look at those teeth.
Remember what it is we're really fighting
This is interesting because that's not Zuko attacking Kyoshi Island.
for.
Also, I think it's weird that we don't see more of the Kyoshi warriors in this trailer because there was like a release earlier that had Kyoshi face paint in it. I thought maybe I'm wrong, but they look great here. I'm surprised that we didn't get more Suki. I mean, here's Sokka in like Wow, that looks good. He's wearing that fucking necklace though. That looks great. I love that it's like leather armor. Somebody who worked on this show to make the costumes obviously has worked on something high fantasy, because I mean the attention to detail on like the different armors, it feels, while it doesn't feel like a off-grid you know, way of living has created this leather, like this raw material in order to make these clothes, it also does look really unified. So it's still giving, like, I could find this in a chest in a video game and put it on as leather armor as like one set without looking like a cosplay or like a Halloween costume. And I think that's a really important balance. I don't know why, but I don't see it in the Water Tribe getup, where everyone else looks fucking great. That dude, look at the club. Please look at the club. Oh, I forgot we had like scenes that we could go. Hey, bye, looks so good. Yeah, look at them Kyoshi Warriors, bestie. That green is beautiful. The Kyoshi Warriors is probably something that was difficult to nail, because you don't want this green to look like, I want it to look Earth Kingdom. I want it to look almost camo, like blending in with the space around you, and not like a fucking neon green. So I think that looks really good. And like I mean, that's Sokka with his fucking, that's his club, man. That looks good. You know what I mean? Like, that looks really good. This one's weird for me, because the flying contraption at the bottom looks like the wheelchair flying contraption, but this is clearly Omashu. So we may have just, like, combined some things. But, I mean, Omashu looks really good. I like the way Omashu looks. I like the landscape around it. I appreciate that the Earth Kingdom is turning out to be very much like pine trees everywhere. I don't hate that. I like that. I want it to look very earthy, and I think it's definitely doing that. I mean, I think Omashu looks sick. I just don't know why Homie and the flying contraption's here. Now. Woo! My dudes. Look at it. What more is there to there's nothing more to say. Look at it. There's even like details in the wrinkles, like where the face has been, like, you know, doing its thing, and you actually have some of this outlined. It's beautiful. And it doesn't look like it's made out of plastic. It looks like it's carved out of wood, and I fucking love it. Looks great. I mean, maybe it's just the lighting, but I think this looks insane. I think this looks so good. This is hot. I also really enjoy the big iron bolts here. I think that looks very much like fantasy world, but also like believable. So set dressing 10 out of 10. I mean, that's insane. The producer notes are really interesting, because this is an iconic episode. It's probably one that people remember the most. I mean, he doesn't wear the blue spirit for very long, but it's still like one of the things that we remember the most about Zuko. This is an incredible episode, so trying to translate this into live action without going beat for beat exactly what they did, but conveying the important points. And in the blue spirit sequence, one of the most important character points is that when Aang and the blue spirit team up together, they team up together. Okay. One of the challenges of adapting an animated series that's done as well as Avatar: The Last Airbender is they do some things that are incredibly epic. Oh, okay. Oh, right. But translating it poses a mountain of challenges, both logistical and financial, which I think is like really it does show. Like, there are some places where I'm like, I can see the budget. And I you know what? Let it slide. Like, honestly, fuck it. Like, let it slide. Like, I would rather watch like a shitty like thrown together like stage show like down the street than like some of these like fully produced, you know, like Superman v fucking Batman was a terrible movie, and that shit had like incredible CGI. You know what I mean? Like, not everything is about like how cool you can make it look. It's got to have heart. And if I'm gonna let things slide, it's gonna be because of that. Like Zuko Scar, like maybe the Southern Water Tribe outfits, that kind of thing. Boomy, I don't know how I feel about Boomy. The earthbending is something we've seen the least amount in here. I like his belt. I like that it looks like a warrior. or not warrior, like an MMA fighter belt. I like that. I wonder if we didn't see Toph at all, so I don't know if we're gonna get that scene. That's one of my favorite episodes, is the Blind Bandit episode. Yeah, WWE belt, dude. It looks kind of sick. I like that his armpit hair is white. I think that's really funny. I like the bracers. Oh, they do talk a little bit about the martial arts style. So first off, they're based on different martial arts styles. Secondly, they obviously involve different kinds of elements. So being able to show that effectively meant different forms of VFX behind the scenes. Okay. So earthbending is going to move and feel differently than airbending, firebending, or waterbending. So yeah, I mean, I don't know how I feel about it. I got excited to see Boomy, and that's like most of what I thought about it, to be honest. Like, there's a lot of dirt, which, like, I'm imagining that, like, I get that. I think that you could potentially hide some of your VFX mistakes, and technically that's what would happen. But, like, I'm imagining earthbending to be, like, more compact. Like, you've spent this energy to, like, compact this resource so that it wouldn't do this. Like, it wouldn't drip, you know? And they had waterbending in this show that didn't drip. It's, like, a whole moving thing. So, like, it's weird that this would. However, I do think that the choice was correct when you look at the firebending, because the firebending is really smoky, and I think that that's cool. Like, I like that when you, like, push the fire out, it turns to smoke before it goes away. I think that's, so it's like, there's got to be a balance between, like, how does this magic system translate into, like, our universe with our gravity and our physics. And I don't know. I mean, I think that it's still just really a nitpick because this looks really cool. Oh, that's the boomerang! George Takei is Ko? George Takei isn't George Takei dead? His voice, I think he's the voice. He's the voice of Ko. Yeah, he's the voice of Ko. Is George Takei alive? I thought he died. He's totally alive, okay. He's 86 years old, my dude. I don't know why I thought he died. That's fucking random. Okay. Who am I thinking of? I think I'm thinking of Spock. Wait. Is the Spock actor dead? Leonard Nimoy. I'm thinking of Leonard Nimoy. Look at the boomerang. That's great. I love that. I'm a big fan of that. That looks great. Look at that. Look at the skin. Oh, love it. Look at the haziness of the eyeball. Oh, I love it. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. That looks great. We wanted to make it very clear that Aang could only access that state in specific set of circumstances. We actually tweaked the rules a little bit from the original series as to when and how he can access that state. But that's a part of doing an adaptation like this. So they changed the Avatar state's rules, which is interesting. Netflix has learned a lot about making an adaptation. One Piece fucking slapped. They know they can do it. They've done it before. And you can be successful by capturing the spirit of something and the heart of something, even when you change stuff. I don't know personally how much they changed in the One Piece, but like for instance, The Last of Us. The Last of Us show is really good. The things that they changed actually did have the creator on board, which we do not have in ATLA. Let's remember that. Like I said before, a really detrimental thing that the creator said back in 2019 is that whatever they make might be good, you might like it, but it's not what we signed up for. So Michael and Brian, the creators of ATLA, have left the show, and they left years ago, citing that even if you like it, it's not what we wanted to make, and they decided to step away. I'm trying not to let that bias me, but that's pretty big. That's big not praise. that's big words to say about this. From somebody who does know the heart and is the heart of the show. The bottom line here is actually that I care a lot about ATLA, but I want to fucking move on. Like, I loved this show. I still love this show. I'm tired of seeing shit about it. I want it to be done. I want to like other things. Oh, what I was fucking saying is, like, when doing an adaptation, it is important to change things. It would be silly for them to make a one-to-one to the animation. It just would be. There's no point. We could just go watch the fucking animation. So there's gonna be changes. And if you look at The Last of Us, the thing that they changed ended up being one of the best pieces of TV to come out in the last 10 years. The Bill and Frank episode is literally so, it's perfect. So like you can change things about an adaptation to that like works for the animation, that improves the adaptation. So I hope that that's what they do. I think that they did that with One Piece. They obviously did it with Last of Us. My biggest point is like we could have made anything else. Like go watch the Scott Pilgrim show. Go what there are people who are out here making incredible stories and acting in incredible shows, and I don't know, we just ignore them. I really want to stop beating this dead horse. So I reserve the right to fucking hate this. But as of right now, I watched this trailer and I got fucking stoked. I got so excited. It felt like when you pick up your favorite book and you remember all of the characters that you loved, and you're like, oh yes, you have that warm feeling in your chest that feels like home again. Like you came home and are safe and familiar. That nostalgia, and like that drug, that dopamine rush is absolute. I loved it. I really thought this trailer was cool as fuck, and it made me very excited. There's the other side of that though, is like, you could let me the absolute fuck down. My hopes are suddenly very high. This could go super wrong. A lot of my longtime viewers know how I feel about the show and know how ridiculous I am about talking about this. I'm curious, people who are like more new around here or maybe don't know this show very well, like what you think. Like especially if you're just seeing the trailer for the first time, it'd be really interesting to know like what you're thinking. Like I really do I'm kind of curious like what a unbiased third party sees when they see this trailer. I think that's all my rant for now. I hope we liked it. The only motherfucker I want to see in a spin-off series is June.